From time to time, I'm asked the question, how did I come up with the idea and invent the poultry hawk? The saying, necessity is the mother of invention, is true in my experience as well. The first flock of chickens I had was the hottest summer I can remember ever experiencing. And I spent 3 to 4 hours a day for at least 2 weeks carrying out dead birds out of just 2 houses. After that, I said, there has to be a better way. I can't believe farmers do this on a continual basis without some other way. I hear people say, I wish I came up with a great idea. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. There are many great ideas out there, but in many ways, a great idea is only the first drop in the bucket, really. Bringing an idea to market takes a tremendous amount of development, foresight, and a collaboration of people. I remember back when I was growing up, I had the opportunities to tinker and build a lot of things. As a child, I loved to build things out of Legos, and so I built all kinds of things out of Legos using gears and all kinds of things. I also always loved building things, especially things that were happening on the farm. So if they were moving dirt with a pan on the farm, I would build a pan that pulled behind the lawnmower. And it actually worked decently well. One time I flew with my parents to Arizona, and I remember when I got back, I just had to build an airplane. So, well, I don't have a lot of aluminum and stuff like that, but we had plywood. And so I built an airplane out of plywood with old wheels that came from an old dilapidated conveyor and pulled it with a four-wheeler. And I thought, man, if I went fast enough, maybe it would take off a little bit. Well, I learned that didn't work. As I got older, I did some welding projects, building do-it-yourself go-kart, 3-point hitch backhoe, and the list goes on. All of these experiences, plus the education of growing up on a farm, was very formative for the eventuality to launch an idea to market, which I obviously really didn't even dream about or know was in my future. But in the year of 2012, I was at a farm expo and I saw this hydraulic tractor that really piqued my interest. And this inspired me to develop a tractor that could be very useful on the farm. So I went about making it. I learned hydraulics, I learned electronics, more electronics, and the list goes on. And I ended up with a tractor that actually worked pretty well, and we actually still use it to this day. But the most difficult challenge that no one can really prepare themselves for, and really I couldn't prepare myself for either, is failure. It takes a lot of trial and error and determination to not just give up to an idea. And that happened, well, there was many projects that I gave up on and never completed. But that happened to me numerous times, even on these projects, or this tractor project and the Poultry Hawk project, nearly giving up, but somehow I was just able to push through. Now back to inventing the Poultry Hawk. I needed a better way to carry out dead chickens. And my idea was to have a remote controlled trolley on a track that went down through the chicken house. So I researched, I talked to people, and finally one day I bought a control board, and maybe a couple weeks later I bought a motor, and it sat in the shop for a month or two, and one day I finally put my first panel together, and I put my Poultry Hawk trolley together one day, and I wanted it to dump, so I made a dump for it. I look back and I almost laugh at the first designs of the Poultry Hawk, but fact of the matter is it wasn't invented yet, at least nothing near what I had in mind. So you have to start somewhere. So one day I hit the go button for the first time and I immediately realized and knew this was something that the poultry industry was ready for. And from that time on, for the next several months, I worked day and night, almost literally, trying things to somehow make this a sellable product. And again, there were numerous times along the way that made me just about scrap it, but I was able to press on, and here we are today. So today that childhood tinkering has grown and matured into what Innovative Poultry Products is today. Something I never really dreamed about or even had ambitions for. Now there's a team here developing and building innovative poultry products, helping to make poultry farming easier. And we want to continue to help more farmers end their day with a smile.